We learned so much on that
Omni
panel.
Knight. Omni Knight.
We got the Dark Willow for you there, Blakey.
Right,
There we
2
go.
heroes.
Looking
Not
good.
bad. 2
All
out of
right.
4. What'd you say, Shane? Did you give a hero?
Enchantress and Chen.
Are they on there? All right, you failed.
There's
Omni
Chen.
Knight's on there.
Can you see?
Chen's there.
Oh, I was looking in the wrong
Yeah, well,
direction.
maybe you failed.
All right, it's just
Okay.
me.
Let's
It's just
all
me.
take it easy here.
We've been on panel for too long.
Everyone's
The
getting all
hatred
going
has
insane.
built. Let the hate flow through you.
Hey, you know who I would like to see maybe an Elder Titan? Wow, gotta get
No
rid of that
Chen.
creep strat. No way, we're gonna let that one go.
That's the moon.
Goodbye.
Actually, there's a lot of crazy heroes. So Arc Warden, I would put it towards the top of the list of kind of a cheesy hero. Even Lone Druid to some degree. Dark Willow, obviously, we brought up, and hasn't been banned every time. It's been getting through, I want to say, 50% of the time, roughly. But remains to be seen what position she actually plays. Because if you put her in, we've seen 5 position, Dark Willows just get stomped.
Yeah.
Like, if you could put her as a 4 or anything above that, she seems to do a lot better.
2 is the best.
Yeah,
Goes
2,
Omni Knight.
pretty
There.
damn good.
Just because he's banned doesn't mean he's broken. Just good in this particular draft.
Yep, just this particular one.
Just this one.
Just the magic damage in this particular one.
Yes.
For illusion heroes, there's only CK, essentially. Very, very strong. Like kind of last pick, or even, I guess in Captain's Draft, like
You-
3rd pick.
You
It's
know
fine.
what hero's been in every draft? I'm getting sick of her.
What's that?
Drow. Get rid. It loses every game. Just get rid of her. Don't
Well,
pick her.
I don't think the drought was the problem.
Just in
There's
general,
a
get
lot
rid
of
of this
problems in
hero.
that draft.
It's been the last 2 days. I don't think Drow has won, if I'm not mistaken. I probably am mistaken, but I'm going to say I'm not mistaken. I'm talking
We'll
out
leave-
loud
we'll leave
right
it
now.
at
I didn't
that.
realize that. So
Yeah, you see, that's what we call in a panel letting a conversation go.
Uh-huh.
Even if you're mistaken, we'll just pretend like we don't
I
know.
think I might be mistaken, Slacks.
Great. Well, you ended it yourself somehow, which is just amazing.
I start and end all conversations.
I think this, and I'm wrong.
There you
Thank
go.
you,
I'm
me.
just so
was
used to
gone.
being abused by Cinder, and I don't know what to tell you.
Oh no, they're doing
Oh,
things
thank
with
God.
the heroes we're talking about. I hope they're not listening
All
to
right,
us.
next.
Okay.
You guys should ban. What's a really bad ban? Let's
you know,
ban Axe.
hey, that's not a bad ban. He's been used a lot this tournament.
I do like the hero.
Yeah, he's
so
fun to
let's
watch.
ban him so we don't get to watch him.
Brewmaster, you're playing into S4, right?
Oh, the Brewmaster S4. You can't let that go through.
Yeah,
He's the
that's
one who
true.
innovated him.
Just let Dark Willow go so that the crowd can watch. You guys want to see Dark Willow by any chance? A new hero? All right, it's like a mediocre.
That was
Yeah, that's
a,
like a
that was a good effort.
40%.
All right,
Yeah.
would you like to see Slacks in the game by
Oh
any
my.
chance?
No.
Is that
No.
slightly better? Oh,
That was actually
that was
worse.
a no.
That
was a
one
no.
guy was like, no! Very
Somebody
loudly.
really hates you in the audience.
Thank you for that.
Dark Willow's true, guys.
Good. We're going to see her 100%. The question is what position, though. And that's actually a good flex pick. You pick her first, you don't know what position she's playing. She could literally play 5 through 1, I think.
I think
Yep.
so. We have seen the Arteezy Dark Willow before.
Ice placement in the offline.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know if we've seen mid in Captain's Draft. Could be
Oh,
mistaken.
they've made a
The
mistake.
fools.
They've made a mistake.
I mean, that's not a surprise. I don't think you're going to pick Dark Willow over Brew
No.
for OG this time around.
Especially now with S4. But maybe they're prepared for that, you know, the old bait and switch. It's harder to think about if they're baiting you in
That's
Captain's
true. We've
Draft.
seen so many position for Brews so far this tournament. You could go with that. That's true. That's actually a good point that you made just now.
Note that down in history.
Thank you.
Don't wink at me.
Coming up next here, I like how you try to take authority over the audience, you know? You just be like, hey guys, clap for this. You have to give them something that they actually want. For
Okay.
example, who would like to see Sunspan never on a panel again? Yes.
It's mostly. Okay, that was a pretty resounding yes.
Sorry. And Rubik, first pick.
Oh, that's
Luna?
great against Brew. Didn't even see Rubik in the pool.
Oh. There it is.
As your girl.
Oh, yeah.
Give us some Luna tips there, Blake.
Just press R.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
It's over.
That's good.
We're done.
Did you ever go the eggs on that hero?
Yeah, I did once, and it was pretty good. It's unbelievable how many beams happen at one time. And you can put it on any hero, so you just put it on Storm Spirit once again.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty dirty.
do what you need to do.
Yeah, both your heroes synergize together. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
I still think Arc Warden is probably going to get picked this game.
Absolutely.
I have
I'm
to.
hoping Elder Titan gets picked. I love that hero.
Yeah.
So much damage, so much team fight, stunts.
I believe ET was banned in the last series that I was casting,
was
or at
first-
least it was available. Yeah. So pretty strong, depending on the hero pool, of course.
The team makes a big difference as well.
And another hero, this is kind of a game-breaking hero as a 5th pick, would be CK in the right position. We talked
Oh,
about this the
yeah.
other day where If you don't have Illusion Clear, CK is quite possibly the most broken hero as far as a carry is concerned. You can't do much about him.
Yep. I want to see.
Anybody.
I want to see Oracle combinations. I think that hero can definitely support.
Oh god, not Oracle.
What's
No,
wrong with
Oracle
Oracle?
and Dazzle are so annoying.
Yeah, I don't want annoying heroes in Captain's Draft.
Sorry.
No.
I honestly think OG picked Disruptor though. It's a safe pick. It's pretty good. You need a range zoner.
Is it possible that Dark Willow just doesn't get picked?
Nice.
It's
That's my
possible.
boys.
We've seen
OG
the,
to the final. It's done.
We've seen the OG Elder Titan before to great success. Actually, I think I've seen it paired up with the Brewmaster several times. So they're getting pretty much everything that they're wanting here in this draft, and it's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Let's see what resolution hero they go with, though. Normally in Captain's mode, you'd pick that last, but in Captain's Draft, you don't always have that luxury depending on how many carries there are.
And good disruptor call there for you, Shane. So a lot of damage there, a lot of positioning stuff. Rubik hates.
I feel like Void can be
Yeah,
good
I was
for
going to say,
OG.
yeah, Void's going to be a hot pickup here. Perhaps.
yeah.
What else do you have for offlane? Did you see?
I see
offlane?
Empire right now.
Yeah.
Can you see what they're
I think
seeing?
the beanie
Through
might
their
get
eyes?
picked up.
Actually, I can look on their screen. Maybe.
It's too small. I
Yeah.
tried.
Well, I mean, Darkseer, I guess, is the more traditional offlaner.
No.
Underlord,
Shut.
LC.
Well, both
That's
times
actually
we've seen
fun.
Darkseer, it's been a tragedy.
It's been a
Yeah,
tragedy.
that hero, they finally nerfed him into the ground, I think.
Underlord. He's a hero.
That last 0.1 second reduction, it finally got him.
When you do that for 20 patches in a row, yes, it does make a difference. Who would have thunk?
He'll come back though. Once they make the old vector targeting, Darkseer will be back.
So, what is it?
That would be
Off
interesting.
laners is Legion. Pretty good against Disruptor in lane. Not the strongest laner. You can like match up against the carry pretty well. Underlord's there. There's not too many lane counters for
I
Underlord.
feel like Legion could kind of get screwed over later though with the glimpse.
Yeah,
during
it's
duel.
good. It's good against a duel. That's true. But in the lane stage,
I actually think CK still, I think OG's going to pick CK.
they like it a lot.
Rezo, that's his hero.
Sure.
He started playing it a lot towards TI6 when he was on DC. Would go for Echo Saber a lot of the times. I don't know if he still does that, but
Yep. The teams do. The EU teams anyway.
yeah, it could be a very strong
TA.
hero. As TA comes
That's
through
a hero
for
I haven't seen in
Empire.
a while actually. An Earthshaker
And
to follow.
Earthshaker. All right.
Interesting what they think this TA is going to be able to do that so many people don't. I mean, I think this is the first time we've seen her picked. Was she even picked up in the groups? I don't think so. It's been a long time, this assassin.
It's a hero that has so many like really strong counters. But the pool, like I was looking there, I saw Darkseer, he came to mind, but there's not many other ones. Like if you look at the damage over time,
I still think, like Sunsman said, CK would literally destroy her.
Yeah.
I also think if they just, where is he? Arc Warden against TA in lane. It's actually extremely strong. One-sided, removes the refraction, and they have no real get in Arc Warden's face here.
Yeah, I'm just interested in why they went with that TA pick. I guess they're hoping to just get a lot of damage in that early game and kind of just ball
Gives
out
you
of
Roche.
control.
You can snowball pretty early.
Well, that's the thing. That's the cool thing about OG. Resolution's technically mid, but he doesn't always play the mid heroes,
Yep.
right? Arc Warden, I don't really, unless something's changed, I don't really consider that a Rezo hero.
Me neither.
Like CK is obviously the one position, so typically Noto will be playing it. But Lone Druid, okay. We're not going to see
Good
Dark
tower
Willow.
siege. Good tower siege.
Yeah, Dark Willow not banned, not picked by anybody.
I think that means she's balanced.
Yes, add her in immediately.
Yes.
Nothing wrong there. You heard it here first. But let's see. They've got a lot of options here on OG. That's what I really like about their draft. They kind of choose when they want to fight. They have a split push ability, which is a classic way to win games on that.
I mean, not only that, you don't know who's playing what.
Right?
Like, there's technically you can play 3 of these 4 heroes as offlaners, right? So a lot is possible here for OG.
I wonder though, maybe Dark Willow mid. I haven't really watched much resolutions like past games,
Yeah, I'm not
like
sure.
his pub history or whatever. But Dark Willow's definitely a hero that can do pretty well in the mid lane. Not the
What
best in the
about
matchup versus
Lone
TA.
Druid against TA. Isn't that a good matchup?
It's okay.
I think he struggles until he gets the Radiance.
Yeah.
And then definitely, yeah.
All right,
Oh,
it
there
is
it
the
is,
Arc Warden.
Dark Warden.
All right. Wow. OG
Liking
has...
this OG draft.
Yeah, I like it too.
This is rough, guys. Yeah, how do you... They got to work together a lot here on Team Empire. So much split coming out. I mean, you put all the pressure that you can on Arc Warden, and then Lone Druid just is balling out of control by like 15 minutes. So.
Oh yeah.
Whew. They got to pick a real pick here, boys. What are you thinking can put enough pressure?
You know, maybe not the most traditional thing, but somebody with a Shadow Blade like LC that can go out of the sidelines and kill Arc Warden.
LC is good.
Oh, it's going to be Axe, though.
Similar kind of thing, though, right? You want to get in Arc Warden's face, got close, set up the fights.
Yeah, Axe, not too bad. I think the big bear killer right now is TA more than anything. That's the big hard hitter. Luna's not really going to be able to catch up to the bear on a consistent basis, but I mean, I'm biased because I think just OG is. I said this at Dota Pit and they got last place, but I think on paper,
Don't say anything,
on
then.
paper they're an extremely good team.
All
So
right.
they just need to put it together. I'm gonna go with the OG on this one.
OG it is. Shane, what do you got for
I
us?
like OG's drafts, and I like them on paper, too. So
On paper. All
I
right.
like this paper
We
thing.
got a lot of paper.
What about
Blake,
rock?
how's
What's
that
on rock?
paper looking?
Really good.
Scissors.
OG, all the way.
Oh, wow. All OG. Okay. You know, I'm not trying to be a contrarian here. OG has a lot of the heroes that they like, but I actually think that Empire's draft is pretty unique, and I think they might have something up their sleeve. So I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go for Empire, the boys. But we will see who exactly is going to be taking this game very soon. Thankfully, to our casters sitting right behind me,
Mott and Purge.
Mott and Purge Gamers. Let's send it on over.
Wow, Slacks, thank you for that great throw. Really great stuff. We are into game number 1, Purge, and I think the story here is going to be the OG draft. A lot of comfort picks. You have the Arc Warden. They're known for playing Brewmaster for S4. Looking so far so good for them in this current draft.
Yeah, I like a lot of what they had. The Lone Druid, I think, was a nice response to TA. TA, they didn't really have the best solutions for just yet, but if he gets Radiance and all of a sudden TA becomes less useful. But I like what Empire cleaned up their draft with. Because OG's cores between the Arc Warden and the Lone Druid are a little greedy, they need some time to get online. They needed somebody that can gank often, and both Earthshaker as well as an Axe are going to be good at facilitating that.
Yeah.
So I think Empire definitely has some ways to delay OG getting the items they want and then turning it into something good.
Yeah, getting Silent, getting some farm, and getting him going, I think, is also a big point for Empire. Just try to get him to that Godzilla Luna that we've seen in the past. We do have a bit of an issue. I believe we have the pause. I think we're remaking, actually, as we get into this game.
Wonderful.
I haven't heard anything from production yet.
I hope they're
but-
reconnecting.
Okay. All right, so we're going to get back into it in just a moment. The game is paused currently, but I mean, on paper, OG, they've looked really good in the past few months coming into this tournament. Empire, obviously the 4 seed in Group Horse. OG Group 1, or Group Hippo, they were 1 seed, taking it down EG as well as Complexity, so good stuff there from them.
Yeah, but both of those teams have been eliminated already.
Yep.
So maybe OG's not as good as their first seed looks.
That's very true.
The one downside to GSL groups is when the people that choose seeding are Suns fan. Because if the seeding, if the group creation doesn't work out so good, then sometimes it can lead to these kinds of situations. I'm not saying that EG was bad. I think EG looked really solid when they ended up losing the other day. Secret's already in finals after all. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here with the lobbies. But draft-wise, I definitely think there's a lot of creativity that both teams can do. I think we're going to have to see a lot of rotations potentially from the Luna. Get 6 maybe, show up somewhere at the smoke, get a kill. Because the more times that they kill Lone Druid and Arc Warden, it'll just make the whole game easier for them.
Yeah, trying to take care of that Lone Druid, who of course can get out of control, get farmed, then you start taking down buildings with the Lone Druid pretty quickly, get involved with the fights with the Radiance. It's important to note also that the 2 teams Empire lost to, Vici Gaming and Secret in that Group Horse, that is a tough group to deal with.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's indicative of Empire's ability to win this game.
Yeah, that may be true. They did get crushed pretty hard, I believe, in the second best of one that they played, or the third.
It was like 20 minutes or something like that.
But they definitely could have a good performance here.
I had word from production that Slack stripped over the cable. That's what JJ said.
Oh, this is Slacks' fault. Everything is.
Blame Slacks.
I don't even know if that's true. That could just be like a, hey, let's blame Slacks moment. Not quite sure. I think Templar Assassin has pretty big potential this game, actually, because there's not a lot of ways that OG can instantly stop somebody from killing them. Like, there's actually no reliable instant stuns on OG's side. They can glimpse somebody, they can do Elder Titan Spirit and stomp. Arc Warden can use, like, Flux or something, but they can't instantly protect somebody. So I think if TA has a really good game and gets ahead, and she gets a fast like Blink Deso or Blink Deso BKB, she can just start like 2-shotting Disruptor or Elder Titan.
Yeah,
so that's another place that Empire could really gain a lot of ground to.
And this is one of FN's heroes as well. I think probably pretty confident in playing this hero for Empire. So we'll see. And I'm interested in the laning for OG, where they're going to send the supports, how much they're going to be able to get done with Disruptor, Elder Titan in the early game especially. I mean, what do you think about the Elder Titan in general?
Normally what affects where the supports go is where you expect your opponents to bully, and considering that Empire's 2 supports are Rubik as well as Earthshaker, this mostly means that Earthshaker's probably going to come mid, do fissure blocks, try to harass in that way, basically keeping whoever's mid on the same side of the fissure as the TA, so the TA can get some good trades in. So, but he's never really going to be up there punching people very often, like we see from like Ogres, Night Stalkers, stuff like that. Whereas on OG's side, both Disruptor can harass quite easily, Elder Titan can do the same. So I kind of feel like OG has a lane advantage with their supports, in that they can go somewhere and they can help their ally win a lane a little bit harder, excluding fissures, obviously. So I would say OG has a little bit of a rotational advantage there. But in terms of classic laning, I think Empire looks a little stronger between TA and Luna. So very small delay. Slacks is currently plugging cables back in. We trust him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's qualified to do that.
He's very qualified. He's our technical director along with stage host. He pretty much does everything.
Yeah, if any titles for MOONDUCK, Slacks is
There's
Slacks
no
is
camera
on
shot.
that.
What are you doing?
We're watching the game, buddy. Okay. Bad time.
He wants to be involved in everything. Jeez.
He's got all the titles and he wants to be the star of the show?
Yeah.
That's
unbelievable.
That's not okay. Well, players choosing their heroes now, maybe starting very soon.
We got a lot of reconnections coming.
Arc Warden's another hero. We barely talked about him so far, and I'm not sold on the hero yet. That's basically why I haven't talked about him. He's very good at keeping your buildings alive, at least. So if Luna's sieging your base with illusions, throw the magnetic field or whatever it's called down, and it'll keep them evasive. But I'm not completely sure outside of that it'll be the best hero. If it's able to catch Empire heroes, disable blink daggers, things like that, it could be really useful. But he definitely takes some time to come online and be effective.
Yeah, for sure. First few minutes of the game might be tough for him, but in terms of split pushing, in terms of keeping the lanes out and getting a map control advantage, which OG love doing, they have really good late game potential for OG. I mean, when you think about OG as a team, late game is one of the things that I think about as one of their big strengths.
Yeah, I would agree. But they have a lot of catch on Empire side between Axe, Earthshaker, Rubik. That's 3 heroes that are very good at catching heroes. So I feel like if Resolution makes a mistake, if he doesn't send his illusion thingy, whatever it's called.
Tempest double.
If he doesn't send his Tempest double, then he could definitely get caught in some of those split push situations. So it's a little dangerous for him, but we'll see if he makes it work.
It's a very good 5th pick hero, but it's a hero that I'm not sure OG have practiced that much.
Oh, come on. They play it all the time.
I mean, between No-Tail and Anna, when Anna used to be on the team, they played it a ton. I mean, we've seen it in numerous drafts.
I guess since Resolution has joined, they haven't played it heavily.
And they talked about that on the panel, too. Like, it's not a hero we see Resolution play too much, but I think they'll probably be fine with the pick. And
based on how often they played it before, I'm sure it's something they've tried in practice games. And considering they're coming to a captain's draft mode, I'm sure they expanded their hero pools a little bit in pubs, anticipating this game.
It's so hard to prepare for this tournament too when you think about it, because you get just random drafts every time if you try to scrim captain's draft. Now I think a lot of the teams actually just say we don't practice captain's draft. We just practice captain's mode and hope for the best.
I think that's really dangerous. I think playing pubs is actually better for captain's draft than playing scrims, because you can't really anticipate these random heroes. It could be some support that was good 6 months ago, but now it's kind of crappy, like Monkey King. And all of a sudden you're forced to play them. You weren't expecting to play them, but in this situation it's technically the best hero. But a couple misplays could absolutely affect the game. So yeah, hopefully they've been prepping on everything. But of course maybe have the harder option here.
And we've seen heroes like Pangolier, where a lot of the pros, and I think you probably think Pangolier is pretty OP right now as well. I think we've seen in the group Hippo, we saw a couple of teams pick him up. They didn't do very well with him, despite him being that super good hero. It's not just that one hero though; it's that combination of heroes that works out for you in terms of a captain's draft.
Yeah,
game.
If anything, Pangolier was practiced too much coming into the tournament, because it's never made it through the banning stage ever since group stage ended, and I don't expect that to be. I think he'll. I just don't think he'll make it.
I don't think it's been in the pool in the main stage.
It has at least once.
Okay.
I guess I can't confirm if it got banned, but I'm pretty sure it did. Yeah. I think it did for sure. It was the first game in today.
It's a very strong hero, though. Yeah. But so let me ask you, in terms of predictions, in terms of we talked a lot about the lane phase. We talked about what you thought of the drafts. But which team do you think is going to take this first game and really the series in general?
I think OG has the skill advantage here. I would definitely say they're the better team. I still think Empire is really good though. They have a lot of really solid players, but they played sloppier. I didn't catch the OG games in the group stage. I think those were over on the B stream with you. But,
yes.
So I'd say OG is definitely the favorites to win this, but I could definitely see Empire winning it for sure as well. But I would say OG maybe.
Yeah, I would agree because
60-40.
OG in those games, they looked good. They had maybe a couple of mistakes here or there, but nothing too considerable. And they looked like OG that you would expect from this type of Dota tournament.
They had some pretty good stomps, didn't they?
Yes.
Didn't they end most of their games really rapidly?
Yes, I believe so. It was rather quick games. And they had a lot of really interesting heroes too. They did a lot of different strategies. I'm trying to think of what they played in some of those games.
I feel like with the early game thought coming through here, I think both teams with their drafts could create a really fast game win condition. Like if OG gets really far ahead with a fast Radiance, TA becomes useless. If TA gets really far ahead with a Blink Deso, then the supports could just be picked off so often that OG has a tough time winning. So if anybody really stomps their lanes, it could result in a really quick game here.
Yeah, so we'll see. I think we're just waiting right now on one computer for OG, I believe, and I think he just picked it up. We should be go here in just a second. We'll have the...
Maybe not. We'll see.
I think we just resumed the game, I'm pretty sure. So we have a game on our hands, folks. We're about to get into it. Sorry for the delay, but we are getting through into game number 1, and it should be a good one here. So.
Yeah, it should be. Lane setups should be pretty straightforward for both teams, unless anybody wants to try doing aggro dual lanes or aggro tri lanes. I imagine OG might try to do something like Lone Druid versus Axe 1v1 with an occasional support showing up to kill Axe, but I'm quite sure Empire will have normal lanes, unless they go for something like a Luna aggro tri-lane. They could do something like that. Lone Druid doesn't have that much contribution to his tri-lane, just because at level 1 all he has is a bear, so it's just a little more damage, an extra creep kind of thing. He doesn't really become that dangerous offensively until he's like level 3, level 5, so could make a bit of a difference here. And we're in. We're in.
I think we are. Yeah, here we go. Now underway, game 1 of OG versus Empire. We're going to get the lane set up here in just a moment. I'm actually interested in seeing that aggro tri lane if they decide to do it. And we'll see what they start out with in terms of items and where everybody goes in the lanes and how much pressure they put on this Arc Warden especially. Unfortunate.
Letting everybody down here.
Yeah.
How dare they have computer bombs?
Oh, we're good. Okay.
Oh, okay. Just probably a Dota setting moment here.
Yeah, maybe TeamSpeak, something along those lines. But
sometimes these switch computer settings don't carry over as well.
That's true.
Looks pretty normal so far for OG, although they are Jax invading very aggressively now. Looks like they are going to divvy up the runes half and half across the map.
Yeah, just get some aggressive wards down for OG like they've already dropped. Ghostic has one on the Axe as well if he wants to drop one, but the Spirit Bear trying to scout this out. Silent and Miposhka are still smoked. And they see Ghostic, though. I'm not sure if Fly is going to risk this and move up and try to contest the rune. They see nobody down bottom. S4 is running through the jungle, so I'm assuming that they're not going to try to do anything crazy here.
Yeah, this has got to scare them more than anything else. At this point, you probably would have spotted an enemy hero, so I think they've got to know that something is up here.
Yeah. So like you mentioned, it should be 2 apiece in terms of the bounty runes. The bear will try to do something, I'm sure, but for now, it's just going to be Empire sitting on the other side of the map. They will try to take care of this, and then we'll see where these lanes are going to end up. They're going to use the telekinesis. They're going to try to go for this bear at this point. Yoku probably has a Fissure available. They're going to Battle Hunger at level 1 coming in from Ghostic. There's the Fissure, and it might block the bear out. No, it looks like he should be able to get up to the high ground and around. If they had another lift or something, he might be able to get the kill, but too little too late, and the bear will be able to get back to the lane.
I don't think that was all bad for either team. I mean, for No-Tail, he's slightly upset, but he's got 25 seconds left till the bear resumes. And on the other side of the map for Empire, they kind of spent a lot of mana on that. But at least if they could, the bear can't do anything for the first 20 seconds at least. Yeah, No-Tail's just going to hide it until he resummons. So yeah, they're changing their lanes up a bit. They were going for the aggro tri-lane here. That was kind of revealed by the fact that they smoked. And OG does not want to deal with that. As Lone Druid, they want to put him in that potentially 1v1 matchup, and it'll actually be Lone Druid versus Luna down here.
Yeah, they've already sent S4 up. Meanwhile, they're going to find potential kill as Jarex is caught out of position. He's going to use the Astral Spirit. Not much he can do. He is pretty speedy. They have no more disables, I don't believe, and so Jarex still on the run. Yoku, no mana for a Fissure. He's just going to go for a TP, a smart play on the high ground, and he is fine and does not give away for his blood. Excellent juke.
Really nicely done. And all this meantime, S4 is up here just getting as many last hits as he wants for the first wave or so. So Kosha goes back to the bot lane, so now it's actually sort of an off-lane Lone Druid, and we're going to see a lot of players moving around.
Yeah, it's musical lanes at this point pretty much, and we'll maybe continue to see those movements here. We'll The mid lane will stay the same, and Resolution did get both bounty runes. I'm interested to see what his buildup is. You still go for the Midas. What is the buildup for Resolution on the Arc Ward in terms of itemization, Purge?
There's a lot more options now, I suppose. A couple active items that do good things, but I assume it'll be the standard kind of stuff here, Jackson.
Oh, man.
I think he's going to be caught this time.
He was so close to eating his way through, just didn't have another tango to work with. That will be first blood for Silent, picking it up with a Lucent Beam. That was almost a great juke from Jerax, though.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to pull the creep wave out, which gives him a little bit more safety in some ways. So gets caught and punished finally.
So a pretty good start for Empire. The FNTA doing rather well in the mid lane, 7-6. Now they've got the left down bottom onto S4, another Lucent Beam. He is pretty tanky, and he has 9 tangos to work with, but will he be able to get out of this? Clap comes through, they need a couple more auto attacks. There's the Lucent Beam, and that will secure it. Miposhka. Now Empire up 2-0 here at the start of this game with a 1K advantage.
Yeah, not too bad for them, especially because OG spent what looks like a little more resources moving around the map. Been ultimately good for them. And Lone Druid Bear finally getting to the top lane here for No-Tail. That's one of the downsides of how often he's moved, is that he has to wait for the bear to arrive since he hasn't quite hit level 3. So hasn't gotten as much laning process as he wants. And even in the mid lane, TA is having a great time. 12-9 here against Arc Warden. So.
Yeah. Finally, though, Fly will come and try to zone him out with a Thunderstrike, and he does have the refraction. But, I mean, if you're Empire, do you move the lanes around anymore, or just are you happy with how much time has been wasted for OG?
I think they can probably leave things about normal now, because from their perspective, it's Luna safe lane, the TA already have a really good start, and Axe is in the off lane now. So I think they just keep it static here, and I think it's definitely paid off. The fact that TA has this much lane advantage, and the support's been busy having to deal with supports in other places, has been ultimately good for Empire, so I think they're happy.
The big thing to consider when you're facing a TA is the stacks coming out from Empire. Meanwhile, bottom lane Telekinesis, they're going to go for another kill. S4 throws up the clap. They have another Lucent Beam. Should be enough damage. He's going to get under the tower. They won't want to dive it. One more auto attack. He's so low. And he gets it. Miposhka takes the perfect angle and snipes him with the Rubik auto attack.
Whew. Tough lane for S4 so far, and does not even have his boots yet. So he's going to be walking all the way back to the lane. Very costly for him.
This is unusual for an S4 Brewmaster. He usually dominates the lane, has a good time, gets that early blink dagger. Not so in this particular matchup. He's going to have to catch back up into this one as he makes his way the long way back.
Good fissure there to block the clarity from Fly, because if Fly doesn't have mana, then he can't break refraction too easily. Templar Assassin has a better time trading with opponents.
The Flux is coming out though for Resolution, and this is what they were talking about on the panel. FN is going to take a lot of damage once this Flux starts getting leveled up. I mean, that's without the Tempest double, and he's level 3 on Resolution. He's already really zoning out FN at this point. And another Thunderstrike to follow up from Fly as well.
Yeah, so this is like where TA's going to falter a little. He's still going to be able to get good last hits. He's just going to have to ferry out more regen most likely. But either way, Fly is out of mana as well, so the supports to cover him, they're going to rotate a bit, and a little bit of a fight over the rune.
Yeah, Jerax will find himself an Arcane Rune. He's just going to try to scout with the Astral and move back towards his own bounty.
Probably sap damage here, but if he runs it through 2 heroes and 2 sets of creep waves here, and then brings it back to him, he can go fight a hero.
He can start punching somebody like Silent down in the bottom lane, who's having a pretty good time as well. 15 last hits, 8 denies. So in terms of CS, Empire are definitely leading right now, and kills as well, for that matter.
Yeah, it's not quite as one-sided as some of the other games so far today, but they can always catch up. I mean, once the ganks start coming through, maybe it'll go better for them. They're going to try and silence a little.
And they've got the Stomp now. They've got the Clap available for S4. They will use it. He's going to use the Lucent Beam, try to get out. The punches from Jerax doing some serious work. Ooh. Fissure doesn't block. They've got the Glimpse from Fi. It's on the other side of the Fissure wall, and that actually stops them from getting the gank. He's still running now. They have the Astral coming through. That will get them the vision they need, and Empire Silent is still in trouble. Jerax looking for a Stomp. He does it beautifully. They should find this kill. 1 or 2 more auto attacks will do the job. It's the Thunderstrike that does it, and S4 with the Clap, and now Yoku has to back himself up as well. So really good rotations from Jerax as well as Fly.
I mean, both teams did perfect there. It looked like the easiest OG kill ever, but the Fissure interrupts it, and then Disruptor shows up and turns things around, but it slightly goes in OG's favor there, forcing a lot of rotations, and ultimately much better for OG.
Now they're looking to turn it back onto S4. They have a lift. They will use it, and Telekinesis back. He will get the Clap off onto Silent, but he's still in trouble. They'll block him in. They have the Fissure if they need it, and they will use it to secure the kill with the last auto attack going to Silent.
Man, tough one for S4. Not getting that many levels, even if they did get a successful kill. So, Arc Warden is still pretty far behind, getting about half the last hits of FN. So even though they can break through refraction and deal some damage, it's not quite enough to have a last hitting advantage. And FN's really close to 6 actually, and Resolution's only at 4.5. So definitely losing this lane pretty extreme. And it's only going to get worse here once the traps get put down.
Yeah, and Resolution, he's going to have to catch up. They won't have any stacks for the TA at the Ancients, not yet, but something else to keep in mind is that this is a level 6 Axe versus a level 3 S4 Brewmaster. Ghostic is having an amazing time with 26 last hits in this off lane. It's 1 versus 1 against a lone Druid, and he's feeling really confident here, just jumping in. They will get the glimpse back off. They have the bear to come through. Miposhka taking a Thunder Strike, a couple more auto attacks. Maybe they've got the call. They need No Tail with one more. Here comes Yoku. He's got the Fisher potentially. He will use it, and Miposhka will survive.
Great Magic Stick usage there. Ghostic
now,
is still chasing here. They might have to. Oh, he chops him already.
He actually was just in the threshold for the Culling Blade, and now No Tail's on the run as well, but he gets the Savage Roar off. He even gets the Hellbear Smasher as well to get the 1 auto attack and 1 kill there. So
basically what's been really tough for OG, are they going to need the bear? I think they just might.
Yeah.
He'd have to, if he chops this, he'll lose his cooldown, but...
Yeah, they're going to get it with just auto attacks. They get the root, doesn't matter.
Oh, got denied. Nice
That was
play by
nice from No Tail.
He maybe should have just chopped that. I mean, that's 300 gold, I believe, for getting the kill. So No Tail with a really nice play. So basically the reason OG's been having so much trouble here is because they've had to put supports mid just to make Arc Warden have a decent time. Whereas on Empire's side, they didn't really care about mid that much. It's more about pressuring the cores, and they've done a really good job.
They missed the call. They get the telekinesis. Good. Savage Roar. They've got the rope. Maybe Miposhka's in trouble here. They're going to try to get this kill. They will get it eventually, but No Tail will die first. And that is still going to be a killing spree going the way of No Tail. Now the Eclipse down bottom. It's going to hit on the creeps, though, and S4 still fine. Level 5. Jirax level 4. They've got the clap. He's out of mana as well. The Stomp is not going to hit, and the Silent should be able to get away, especially with the help of Ghostic coming in. He's got the call. This may be a kill. They don't have mana for the Culling Blade and S4. Yes, they do. Ghostic's just going to chop him down right at the end there. And Fly is on the run as well. Glimpses him back.
OG just can't stop their opponents from running at them, and they're just getting blown up everywhere.
It's got to be 8 kills going for Empire. Plenty of fighting all over the map. They're rotating beautifully, and they're getting so much farm in the process.
Yeah, OG had that like support can harass in the laning stage advantage, but now in these early skirmishes, they have no competition here in these little fights. The amount that Disruptor contributes, the amount that Elder Titan contributes, it's just not even close to the same as things like Earthshaker Fissure and Telekinesis.
And they have set themselves up for a pretty good early to mid game here for Empire. I mean, Resolution's still pretty far behind at this point.
Could be ganked by this haste rune here from Miposhka. He's thinking about it.
Yeah, Resolution's pretty far back. Now level 6 Telekinesis coming in. They have Jirax nearby. FN, they will drop a trap, I believe, but Resolution's still pretty far back. They don't want to dive this too much. They're looking for Miposhka from Jirax, but I don't think they're going to be able to find anything here. So they even dive under the tier 1 tower with like 3 heroes. They can't find a kill, but they still escape unscathed.
Yeah, and a lot of Midas on the way here for OG, but they're definitely delayed. No Tail is about 200 gold from finishing his. Resolution has a long ways to go. Not too abnormal for Arc Warden, but he's definitely doing worse than normal here. Still sitting at about half the last hits of FN, but not too surprised. FN has historically been extremely good at 1v1 matchups mid, so he's really doing a great job, and the Ancient stacks continue.
And Empire, they've garnered this advantage. They will continue to get farm. I think the Luna has picked up, or is trying to pick up the Mask of Madness. That'll get things going even further. There is going to be the Midas for No Tail, but it's a long road back into it for OG as they're down 3K at 9.5 minutes. And you have to wonder how much pressure Empire want to put on trying to get these towers. There's the Tempest double, though, onto FN, and the Glimpse back. This could be a big kill if they can get it. The Clap, he's going to go for the TP. Can he make it out in time? He cannot. Too much damage coming in from the Tempest double of Resolution. And they were looking for more, but Miposhka gets under the tier 1 tower in time.
It's so important that OG gets kills off like that. So even though they are building Midases, that they can occasionally show up and put pressure on a core, because grabbing the TA right there costs them a lot of farming time. They've got to buy time for these Midases to pay off enough that way Empire in the mid game doesn't get too much done. So as long as they can keep this pressure kind of going while they finish their Midases and maybe limit the amount of kills that Earthshaker and Axe get with Blink Daggers, then they can get themselves to a decent part in this game.
And they are close. The Axe is sitting on 1,900 gold. He's very close to that Blink Dagger, not going for any other item first, just wants to have that initiation potential. When they have that, they can really start getting aggressive here, Purge, and trying to find kills around the map.
Yeah, because he just needs a little bit of damage behind him, and then they'll be able to kill any hero on that enemy team. The only person that might be difficult is Lone Druid and True Form. So if they're careful how they do this, they should be able to get some big pickoffs. S4 has got his ultimate.
Yeah, another big timing window for OG trying to find something with this. Smoke, they do hit the sleep, and that'll be onto the Luna. This could be a big kill. They'll go for the clap. They'll go for the split. Maybe they don't even need it. The Lucent Beam comes out. Silent is alone. There's nobody there to help him, so split not even used for OG.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure.
Such efficient rotations. Like you said, it costs them almost nothing, basically just a smoke to make that work.
They can't find the bear. It's able to get out, and No Tail is going to be able to put some pressure on this Tier 1 tower back up, give Resolution some room to work with, and this is where things get interesting. Now that he's got his Tempest Double, trying to get to that Midas, of course. You get to that Midas, you start scaling out of control as that Arc Warden.
And Axe has his Blink Dagger ready, but he's waiting for a hero on the top lane. I kind of feel like Resolution should maybe be the hero pressure.
Good
He's got a lot of
call.
cover.
Onto 2. He will get ensnared. Gets only 1 spin. Battle Hunger is there as well. Ghostic needs to back himself up. Here comes Jerax. They've got the Stomp Fisher. What a block coming in from Yoku. Now No Tail's in trouble. They've got the Culling Blade, but he's so fast. The Savage Roar comes in, and they will be able to at least get No Tail out of there alive. They will take the bear. 300 gold still taken. The Tempest Double comes up from Resolution, but
Maybe they get Jerax as well. Ooh.
they're still chasing. He's so low. He's going to drop the Astral. He's got the Stomp ready. He's trying to go for it. No TP. It looks like it was canceled. Maybe he gets this kill. No, the Lucent Beam comes out. There's nothing he can really do there. Everybody swarming from Empire secures another pickup for him, and they'll try to turn this into maybe a top Tier 1 tower push.
Yeah, really nicely played there by Empire. Unfortunately, he didn't kill the lone Druid, but it was tough. Max wasn't anticipating to see him quite that early. And either way, they get a kill, they get a bear kill, and very likely the tower as well. It's very good that Silence rotating for these, just because he amplifies his team's damage so much. And once this tower is dead, that means they're going to be able to ward and control the enemy jungle a lot better.
Stop getting No Tail too much farm as well as Resolution. He hasn't even used his Eclipse. He does have it available. Yoku, Kinetic Field, they're diving the Tier 1 tower at this point. Where's the damage? They get the root, the clap coming in. They do so much damage, and S4 still probably doesn't need to use this split. He will fall. They'll grab the kill, and OG, they're applying pressure across the map, and now they're pushing into this Tier 1 tower in the mid lane.
And they're going to try to slow this down for the enemies here. FN's going to get caught. Are they going for it? Oh, they
Static
will.
Storm. They're going to get this big kill. The Earth Splitter. He's in trouble. One more auto tech. He's dead for 34. A giant kill for OG, and they're going to transition this into a Tier 1 tower. And Ghostic just has to back away. They found Miposhka as well with the Flux. It's going to be 2 kills. Empire losing 3 heroes across the map and a Tier 1 tower, and OG getting right back into it.
It feels like OG's able to do this with so much less resources, but it's just the right heroes at the right time in the right places, and Empire doesn't feel as capable to be able to do to make those same rotations with low resources.
So now you're getting all these big items for OG because you get those kills, because you get that Tier 1 tower. You have the Midas, obviously, for No Tail. He had that a while ago. Resolution has his. S4 is about to pick up his Blink Dagger as well. So this, I thought Empire might have been able to take advantage of that timing window where they had that 3K advantage, but it looks as if, though, it's going to go a bit later here for OG, and they're going to get some items up.
It's really costly for Empire because Templar Assassin should be able to just shove in mid a little bit, occasionally hit up Ancients while somebody else gets the experience, but instead he's just been mid the whole time. I mean, he's still got an insane amount of last hits, but by losing almost all of their Tier 1s, there's just a lot less space for them to be protected by in terms of teleports. So it's got to be Empire getting some kills, because Ghostic's had a great game thus far, but I think there need to be more like blink calls with ally follow-up, and we just haven't really seen that much happen in the last 4 minutes from Empire.
And especially FN dying twice. He was on his way to his Desolator. He has a couple of stacks to work with, but he's still not quite there yet. And now top of the net worth is going to be No Tail. And Empire, they'll try to follow this up with putting some wards down aggressively in the enemy jungle, try to get vision, try to stifle OG's farm in their own jungle. But Jerax has spotted them. He should probably figure out that there's some wards somewhere in these enemy jungle. See if they can't de-ward it here in a moment.
Yeah, it's very smart that they're smoking through with their entire team. Blink Dagger on Brewmaster as well, so no matter what fight starts here, it should be all right for OG unless it's everybody getting caught.
Look at S4 is going to find Yoku. Good Enchant Totem, though. They've got the Glimpse available if they need it, plus Static Storm. Good Fisher. They can still bring Yoku back if they want. They want Miposhka instead. They've got the Kinetic Field. Miposhka getting chased down. They have Yoku on the Kinetic Field. With the Earth Splitter coming out, this should be a kill. He will avoid it. They will get the Drunken Haze off a good Enchant Totem yet again. The Thunderstrike, a couple more auto attacks will do it. One tick of the Thunderstrike or just one S4 clap, and he will get it. In the trees is Miposhka juking through. He's going to go for the TP. No Tail, the Savage Roar. He actually canceled it beforehand, and he's still running. Just needs a few auto attacks from this bear, and he's still juking as best as he can, but he will get rooted up and drop down. And now No Tail is dominating on this lone Druid. Meanwhile, mid lane, they've got the call. They want Resolution. He's in trouble. The Culling Blade Static Storm comes a little bit too late, and now they're going to go for the TP. They jump at the clap. The Glove's back. They turn it, and they're going to get 2. Empire will get dropped. OG finding 3 kills across the map. Yes, they lose Resolution, but a great turn yet again with Fly Static Storm.
That was easily worth it there. Disruptor just really being the difference maker against the TA here. As soon as he puts Static Storm down, there's basically nothing that TA can do to stay alive, as long as there's someone else there to follow up on damage. So been a little bit tough here for Empire, but at least they get the first kill at the start. It makes a bit of a difference, and they do still have a gold advantage. That's maybe the most interesting thing. It feels like OG's just been stomping this whole time, but Empire is still slightly ahead.
Yeah, but again, the one hero you have to worry about right now, No Tail, the Radiance timing, we haven't really talked about it. 3.7k, he's right next to his Relic, and then that recipe's got to be coming out shortly thereafter. So you have to deal with a Radiance Bear, and then Low Druid's going to get even bigger here for No Tail.
Yeah, Invis Rune here for OG that they can grab, maybe turn this into a kill. Don't know if anybody will bother grabbing it for now, but Silence just jungling, Mask of Madness to keep his farm up here, and major items is, I guess, Blade Mail and Axe is another big one. That should mean that him solo killing is much, much simpler.
So, in terms of the momentum, we've talked about it going OG's way, but if you're Empire, what do you try to do? They've already dropped wards down to the enemy jungle. Do you still try to go for aggressive plays? You have the Deso, maybe you turn that into Roche, if you can find a pickoff or something for Empire?
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty reasonable, actually. They're going to try to glimpse back FN here.
They drop the sentry. Oh, just out of vision, so close. Maybe the bear will spot him. The Astral does, and they've seen him. You're going to use the stomp. He's going to try to go for the run. They will get the sleep off. They have the, I think, kinetic field. They've got the static storm along with it. They will use it. This should be another kill. Maybe they've got the bear doing a lot of the work. Good Fisher block, and he's actually fine for now. They've got the glimpse back. However, the Eclipse will take down the Disruptor, but that's a fine trade for OGs. They're looking for more, and they get the root onto Ghost Stick. Silent will try to run, and now OG, they're surging, looking for more. Yoku, he's going to get maybe stomped. He just avoids it. They pop the Bruce, but now Silent is going to be next. Their carry will fall as well. Empire losing 3, a double kill for S4, and now they will continue on to pressure this tier 2 tower in the process.
And consistently what OG is doing better than Empire here is that they're just playing faster. They're showing up at places and they're starting fights. And the same thing isn't happening from Empire's side. So if they always have to be the ones to react to OG's good initiation, then it's always going to be them on the back foot.
And not finding those blink calls to start the fight off. They're not bringing maybe all the heroes at the same time, and OG pressuring and getting a lot of net worth now. It is a 1k advantage after they were down 3k to start this game. And they won't take the tier 2 tower. They decided to back off. They don't want to get too aggressive.
And they got so many good kills for that. They killed both the mid and the safe lane, and they also killed the off lane here. That's the 3 highest net worth on the enemy team. So I think OG is very content with their positioning here. I'm not saying they should completely sit back and slow down the game, but they can easily buy themselves a minute or so of passive farming. Empire on the other side needs to make something happen, though. So get them across the map, group up maybe Axe with Luna, something like that. They did use Eclipse in that fight, though, so their big team fight damage dealer is not going to be here. And Yoku's approaching Blink Dagger as well. That's the other big difference changer here for Empire. So if they can get closer to that, then everything can change.
And this is exactly what they're going to do. They know they need to make something happen here. They're going to bring Raposhka and Ghost Stick, just these 2 heroes for now. We'll see if anybody else joins them. This is more of a warding mission, perhaps, for Empire than anything else?
A mix of things. You know, these 2 heroes together can potentially kill somebody, and we'll see if they can find somebody. They already do have 1 deep ward in the enemy jungle. I'm sure they'd love to find supports. Maybe that's another smart thing that OG's doing, is always keeping Disruptor with allies. He's the one guy that's very easy to kill, but if he's always active and setting tempo, then he doesn't also present that easy kill.
Unfortunate timing for Empire is OG smoke at the exact same time that they were looking for a kill in the mid lane. They won't find it, but it looks like they know that there's nobody on the map for OG, and Empire will sit back and not show themselves for the most part here.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going about even and you have 2 Midases against the enemy, and you know you're stronger late game, oop, they find the heroes.
And Raposhka gets clapped up, the Stomp will be there, and easy kill. Resolution does so much damage, and they blow away Raposhka. So just like that, they have a good ward on their room, and they're able to find Raposhka after the smoke is done for Empire.
I mean, they just have so many levels on OG's side. Jarex is already level 12. He's completely cutting through the enemy magic resistance, so all of these combos are just so straightforward. A lot of magic nukes for now, and just a little bit of amplification from him, and everybody's doing more damage and hitting harder than they would normally. So again, they're only slightly winning the game on paper, but it feels like they've been in control for like 15 minutes now.
They certainly have the momentum, but if you're Empire, there's no reason to panic. You have 2 really good late game heroes in the Templar Assassin. You have the Luna who's farming well. They both have decent net worth. It's not like they're that far behind. So if you're Empire, you should probably just rely on your 2 cores here.
I'm not completely sold on that, because TA is potentially good late game, but she's more of a get strong early, dominate mid game carry. In the ultra late game, if there's no things that can easily break refraction, yeah, sure, she works all right late, but there's a Radiance on the enemy team. They have a lot of decent solutions to making her less effective. So I think at this point, when a TA is like 1 in 4, which she's currently at, yeah, he's got great last hits, but that's not going to take you all the way to the end of the game and give you a win necessarily.
Well, she is close to her Blink Dagger timing, and that's going to be a big item in terms of trying to find team fights and initiations for Empire and follow-up.
But again, I agree, but the nice thing that OG's been doing is they've been 5-manning this whole time, or at least a lot of the time. And it's not always just them standing around, it's them grouping together to take fights or to get kills. And just by doing that together, it solves two purposes. Even if the TA had Blink, she can't kill Disruptor by herself because there's always other heroes nearby. So it kind of takes away that one tool that they should have had this game, which is TA going kind of crazy and getting all these solo pickoffs. It's just not happening.
No. And now they'll take over map control. What OG is so good at, staying together, taking all of these tier 2 towers. This is going to be one of the last outer towers. There's still the bottom tier 2 to work with, but OG are not concerned. They're just going to send the bear, they're going to send S4, start hitting the tower, and this will be another tier 2 going their way. And the only thing that FN can do is split push at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, them going back, if their opponents go high ground, then yes, they're probably going to have to show up, but even that doesn't feel very safe here. The bear's just hitting the tower, there's a magnetic field, so he doesn't take as much damage. It's pretty abusive. They will kill the bear most likely.
Yeah, good
Oh,
lift.
they missed?
The other side of the wall, they will get it done.
Well, they didn't get the last hit, unfortunately. Snow gold for them. But the bear is dead. They can rejoice in that for a bit. But FN also crossed the map to come back here. So any split push advantage they had is already gone. JerAx is instantly across the map to push out the other side of the lane. So as long as OG keeps all of these lanes past the river, they can keep abusing this. Put the bear on the high ground, let it hit buildings, and eventually you're going to take towers. And he's going for Ags next. So he's ready to do the split push advantage.
Yeah, that is some serious split push coming in from both Resolution as well as No Tail. Keep these waves pushed out, and then you can look at other objectives. Potentially Roshan for OG. Would you think they would want to get a pick?
Quick fight there. So this is the gank that kind of finally happened. There was a Ghost Stick going in, and they burned Eclipse for it. Hopefully they can get a tower out of this. They should be able to take the mid tower. I guess their choice is mid over Roche. I think that's the right move because mid is so important for helping you control Roche area. So they've got to take this. If they don't take it now, I don't know if they'll get another opportunity. So resource-wise, it was expensive for Empire, but this was kind of a catching up to a place where they shouldn't have been in movement, and we'll see if OG can abuse the next 100 seconds or so.
I'll take that tier 1 tower and try to get some extra vision down. They'll drop a ward from Aposhka on the high ground. Just try to get some extra vision in this enemy jungle for OG. OG will back up for a moment, realizing they don't have S4 for another 10 seconds. Probably regroup and go for something else. Keeping these waves out for Resolution as well as No Tail. And any big items coming out for Empire? I mean, they have these blinks coming in. Yoku, we talked about it. They've just got the blink for FN, of course.
Yeah, BKBs are basically the next big important thing. Keep you resistant to magic, allow you to not be disabled. Static Storm, you don't want to have to worry about that. And they need BKBs on the two vulnerable cores, the Luna as well as the TA. And they're starting their items now, pretty much. Luna's a lot closer, actually. Luna's finished with her BKB. So if they had Eclipse, I'm sure that they could potentially take a team fight here, but they don't have the BKB just yet on Luna, and TA is not even close, so they've got to be really careful right now.
I mean, OG, they're just going to de-ward around Roche, probably start this in a moment here. Resolution's back home, but No Tail, excuse me, he'll join in just a moment as he's getting this Aghanim Scepter for his bear. He can really start split pushing. So yeah, they're just going to head into Roche more than likely, finish this off, grab Aegis. They do need to push out bottom here in a moment, but that's about it. And it's just going down to checklist, it feels like, for OG at this point. It's still only a 1K advantage, but they are going to get Aegis here with, I don't think Empire's going to be able to contest.
Yeah, it's so easier for them to split push now. Just Lone Druid's got Ags picked up, so lots of HP for his hero. He sends the bear to the top lane, it's pushed out, and their map control is just so good at this point. Taking Roche, even though it's a little slow, is pretty straightforward and easy for them.
So they'll grab the Aegis, probably try to take the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, and they can keep doing the magnetic field, bear strat, trying to push into the tower. Yep. And go from there.
Yeah, by all means, they're not just limited to doing that. On the bright side for Empire, they will be able to take a tier 2 here. Oh, will they see him?
Glimpse.
Very close.
Didn't see him.
The kinetic field gives a lot more vision towards the center of the circle, not necessarily on the edges there. Boy, that would have been really bad for Empire if they caught the TA in that moment. That definitely would have been a push.
Resolution's Aegis is gone in the mid lane. Ghost Stick's going to take it down with a chop, and looks like he might be able to get out. They're looking for another. Resolution pops the Tempest double. Yoku coming in. Echo Slam will be applied. This is troublesome. Resolution about to fall. Not dead yet. They will grab the kill. The split comes in. Silent pops the BKB. Now looking for Yoku. He'll get dropped down. Aposhka, Atos up. They have the... Of course, Arc Warden doing some work with the Tempest Double still and Silent. His BKB's going to run out. Great call, but there's the Static Storm right on top of Ghost Stick. In trouble, trying to find No Tail. He resummons the bear, not dead yet. FN brings him down. JerAx gets a double kill on the other side. That's Stomp coming through him. Aposhka getting hit up. FN all as well, getting chopped by S4. JerAx Atos up, and they're going to find all 5. They will lose 2 of their big cores for OG, but all 5 dead from Empire. Great fight from them. Despite losing that Aegis, good turnaround from OG.
Yeah, it looked really good for Empire at the start, but if you burn your initiation just to burn the Aegis, and then you have to deal with the enemy team afterwards, it gets tough. And Brewmaster made the big difference there. He cycloned the TA, kept TA up in the air. In fact, TA didn't even get the BKB off, and that's probably the most significant part if he was able to pop BKB before being Yules, there was this point for the first like 10 seconds where the fight got really busy that he could have made a difference. But he was in the air the whole time, and by the time he came down, it wasn't worth using BKB. So if he just popped that earlier, they might have been able to win that fight. And instead, it turns into this fast OG Rax.
And there's no buyback on FN. This is going to be a melee Rax for sure. If they get anything else, we'll see. Jerax is getting caught by Yoku with the Fisher, but they're just going to back up happy with the melee Rax. They don't want to lose too much here. And Resolution, all the meanwhile, is just farming. And OG, they get the first big building of the game. They will back up. And it's still only a 4K advantage. It's not out of the woods just yet for them. Empire still have comeback potential, but a very big team wipe coming out from them.
Yeah, and OG's playing this very safely. Like, they could have definitely kept the bear around, hit the range barracks a little bit because it can hit anywhere on the map, and it would have been all right. But they're playing this to win. No dangerous moves being taken from them so far.
Sit back, maybe wait for the next Roshan. Do you think that's a little too passive for them? Do you think they want to apply pressure?
There's the way that they've been playing this whole game has been effective mat movement, playing Dota extremely well. And I don't see that. I don't see them slowing down just for something simple like Roshan happens to not be around. They're going to continue pushing all the lanes in. They will look for kills if they can get them. But generally they will stay semi-grouped and try to not let Empire get any kills in this meantime.
Quick DC. So we'll see what the issue is with Jerax's computer, Resolution, and the crew just keeping the waves pushed out. I mean, they have a 4K lead at this point. Their draft is starting to come online. Despite the, I wouldn't call it disastrous early game, but it was a pretty rough early game for OG in comparison to what Empire were accomplishing.
Hey, Team Secret signing session.
Team Secret signing session. Where? In the back? In the back, everybody. Go check it out. Thanks, Slacks.
Oh, and if you guys were here, you could also go, oh, Windows update. Nice.
Why? Why does it always have to be Windows updates? Please.
I do not know.
Come on.
That's unfortunate. Well, hopefully it's a fast one.
Yeah, usually not, but we'll pray. So, I mean, Empire, yeah, they're down 4K. Not the end of the world to lose the Melee Rex. Luna's starting to get big.
Yeah, and the important thing, I think, is that the game is not out of striking distance for them, and they've got their BKBs. And that's basically why. If they do take fights and they use their BKBs slightly better, they can certainly take a good fight against OG. So they just need to get in those circumstances and start winning those fights, and they can definitely get a bunch of gold back.
They have the big team fight abilities. You have the Echo Slam, you have the Blink Call, Eclipse, of course. I mean, it just takes one, essentially.
Yeah, just need a good initiation here or there, and shutting down, maybe getting a kill on either Arc Warden or Lone Druid at the start of the fight would make all the difference. And with BKBs, they could certainly do it. Luna and TA basically can't be touched once they activate it outside of Entangles, which have made a difference through BKBs so far.
Yes.
And I believe Earth Splitter on Elder Titan. So there's a couple ways that they've got to be careful on the initiations. But if they can jump on somebody like Lone Druid, yeah, they could definitely win the fight. Yeah,
Brewmaster working at a BKB of his own as well. So we'll see if OG can finish this game off. It's still 4K advantage. And I don't know. I mean, this is just a typical OG draft. The Brewmaster has done a lot of work for S4. They've applied a lot of pressure across the map. They've done exactly what you would expect OG to do in a game like this.
I wonder... Oh, nice. They do have Yules being picked up, actually. Disruptor grabbing one. So one of the best axe counters, if he jumps and calls on somebody, you can just throw him up in the air. He's almost got his own BKB, though, so by the time they get there, might not actually be the best solution.
How do you feel about the Axe pick? How has it worked out? I mean, obviously in the early game...
It was great.
It was great.
Great in the laning stage. He played fantastic. I think there was just a little bit... That period of time where he was like, I've got 1,600 gold. It was around there, and he thinks, like, I'm just going to jungle to finish my blink. Sometimes that 4 minutes against a really good team absolutely costs you. And I feel like that's what happened this game. It was like Empire was pressuring well. They were winning the laning stage, but with really good moves. And all of a sudden they were like, we're about to get blink. Let's get those. Everybody kind of sat and jungled for a little bit. And sometimes, honestly, that 2 to 4 minutes, it completely changes the game. Because then OG gets 1 or 2 core kills. When the supports aren't in position, they don't have to react to the way that Empire is ganking. And then it throws your opponents off. Whereas the opposite has now happened, where OG was just ganking into another pressure, and they got a tower. And then they did this other thing. And Empire's constantly scrambling to try to defend. So it might have been better, for example, to do something like move somewhere and get kills or ganks with the axe rather than jungling. I think we saw some other, maybe Earthshaker as well, did some jungling on camps. Maybe it would have been better for him to be in fights, for example, but didn't always get that opportunity.
They're going to try to find the bear in the top lane, Lucent Beam, but they've already used the lift. I think the bear is fine. He can get resummoned, no problem. recalled back to the Lone Druid, and OG will continue to apply pressure, try to finish off this last tier 2. Resolution having a pretty good game now with Shadow Blade as well as the Mjolnir, still with the Brown Boots at this point, and he's actually 3rd in net worth, but applying a lot of pressure to FN through the refraction. It'll get harder now that he has the BKB, but I think both cores for OG have done a great job this game.
Yeah, I think everybody in OG's done really well.
So FN?
It's so easy to take towers like this. It's actually kind of disgusting. Eggs on Lone Druid.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Just send him somewhere, and like, tactically, it's such little downside. As long as you have the resummon, you lose almost nothing. That you give them a little bit of gold, but hasn't really been something that OG is that worried about.
And this is before resolution bots too, where he's just around the map doing his own thing, just split pushing. So they could even have more map control, which is frightening to think about at this point. He's putting a lot of pressure on these lanes, but Empire, they're hanging on. Of course, now that they've lost a lot of this map control, they're losing a little bit of net worth. Oh, this Miposhka Rubik might be in trouble. He got entangled, but Silence here to help out. He gets hit once, and he almost dies, so he needs to be careful.
I mean, that's the tough thing. You want to go and kill the bear maybe for gold, but he'll just resummon it. So got to go look for heroes. So they just basically send the Lone Druid Bear into the dangerous lanes where there could be ganks, and they leave the rest of their heroes kind of close to the other 2 lanes, and it's just simple. All the lanes are pushed out. Empire's got all these really great deep wards, but they can't even get in there to play against enemies, because as long as OG doesn't send a hero in that direction, Empire won't get a kill there, period.
I mean, it's saying something when you TP out 3 heroes when there's just a bear in the top lane and the rest of OG are farming across the map in a completely different location.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's because they probably wanted to do something in that area, either make a play or group and smoke or do something like that, but it may just be OG going for that.
Speaking of the smoke, Resolution's found Miposhka already a lot of damage. The Spark Wraith, the Flux, and he is done. See ya. He'll drop the Magnetic Field. There's the Earth Splitter along with the Sleep. This is going to hit up onto Silent, who has a BKB. Can't even get it off. Ghosted comes in too late with the call. He pops his own BKB. FN still has it as well. He will need to use it. There's the split coming in for the Panda, and they are running in. They need a creep wave as this is backdoor protected, but still, they have taken down the Silent Luna. He does have buyback, but that's just a quick assassination from OG, taking down 2 heroes, and now transitioning this potentially into a push if they want to stay, and it looks like they will. They'll split it up between the bottom and the mid lane as the Lone Druid Bear is up on the tier 3 tower.
OG feels so in control here. The important thing was the stomp on the Luna, that they followed it up with the Earth Splitter and damage immediately afterwards, because as soon as he loses that much HP, he's not going to BKB. He actually needed to pop BKB just for the stomp.
Atos, Ghost Stick in trouble, no BKB. Yoku coming in. There's a great static storm for Fly. The kinetic field, the Flux, too much damage resolution, instant buybacks. They've got the telekinesis onto S4, but too little, too late. Ghost Stick might escape with his life, but he's earned down. Silent trying to BKB and man fight in the front lines, but it's going to be too much. The magnetic field has popped it. No Tail is going in with the bear. Silent dive back. Okay. We'll get 3 kills onto OG at the very least. FN doing some work, and Silent finding a double kill, so that will stop the push for now. They've got the call onto the bear, but this is costing so much so far for Empire. They get off the Savage Roar. He needs to get the Spear Bear away, but FN's right back in, and they should find this 300 gold, and it will go the way of FN.
That was really good for Empire, actually. Luna was barely able to pick off the Elder Titan as well as the Lone Druid, I believe it was, and at that point, all they had to do is clean up the bear. That's 2 bear kills, so even when No-Tail revives, he's not going to have that ready to go. So finally, Empire getting a little bit of ground, but it still cost them quite a bit. They still lost 1 barracks down there.
They bought using 2 buybacks on their big cores, FN and Luna. Now, no buybacks for 7 minutes, and OG, all they need to do. And we haven't even talked about Rose in the last few minutes, but it's up in a minute and a half at the very least. So OG can take that if they really want to. They can keep applying pressure. And one of these kills on either Luna or FN should probably finish the game off, I would assume.
I mean, a lot of BKBs, a lot of buybacks as well. If they can get another good fight like that, maybe ideally outside of their base, things could go super, super great. But everybody has to make kind of... there's been a lot of item decisions on Empire's side that aren't things they want to buy, but they have to buy. Things like Mantis Style and Luna to remove Entangle, for example. Even FN has to grab the 20 talent that dispels from Refraction so that he can do things like use Refraction to remove Entangle, instead of going for extra armor reduction. So a lot of choices had to be made here just because of the feature of things.
They will find Fly and Ghost Stick and FN. Okay. They get the kill.
That was good. The trap spotted him, I believe, maybe the ward as well. So get a disruptor kill. That feels like the first support pickoff we've had all game, and finally some space for Empire.
Miposhka blown away by the Earth Splitter. So just as they get a kill onto Fly, they lose the Rubik.
It's totally okay in this case because it's going to lead to them probably getting this tier 2.
Right.
They actually do have a glyph. They could maybe delay this and defend it, but with TA down, or sorry, with Disruptor down, it's probably a little scary to try to kill the TA.
They're going to TP up the bear, and FN will just jump into the trees and TP himself away, not trying to be too risky here. So they don't get the tier 2 tower, but they apply a lot of pressure up in the top lane.
Yeah, there was a good chance that OG had rotated more heroes, so ends up going back, pushing out more lanes. So.
Oh man, this is a super early Roche respawn, 6 seconds, and we just saw this a moment ago, and that is actually one of the earliest respawns you're going to have. And they will be able to take Roche if they can keep these waves pushed out, head into the pit. They'll be able to take it rather quickly on OG's side. They do a lot of damage, and that's Aegis and Cheese, and moving up to the high ground where you've already taken a couple of buildings to be a tough defense if they give away this Roshan to OG.
Yeah, so with that said, the next big gank or set of ganks is really going to change everything. If Empire can grab an important hero, maybe Lone Druid, maybe Brewmaster, something like that, they should feel comfortable taking Roche, and they can do it really fast between Templar Assassin and the Luna. So a couple ganks here or there could change everything.
Resolution has a nullifier. So say goodbye to their BKBs, or one of the BKBs anyway.
That could be huge. And he's got Shadow Blade as well. So he could get really close, then use the nullifier. Could guarantee a team fight win, basically. Especially if it's on, like, Luna.
Nullifier, Tempest double nullifier. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, that's super good, actually.
So
both teams got to gear up for these fights. Looks like Empire's spending a little bit more time farming than OG is at this point. It's kind of a fixture of what we've seen all game. And as long as OG is effective with their rotations when they do this, it seems to have paid off. Oh, S4, not sure if he double tapped. I feel like he double tapped his Blink Dagger there.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably because he was going uphill as the smoke broke and he was worried about running into 5 heroes, but it actually hurt them a little bit. That could have been a Rubik kill. They could still maybe.
They're still chasing. They're going to fly. He has wards if he wants to drop one. I think he's going to. They found FN. He actually gets away with a Refraction Blink. And now they're going to glimpse Yoku back instead. Now Ghostic jumps in with the call. The Static Storm on top of Ghostic pops the BKB, and there's the split just in time. They cannot burst down S4, and Silent as well as FN have both popped their BKBs. They need to run now.
Can they get close enough for the tornado? He's running max speed.
He's almost going to get there. Good force away.
I wouldn't say that's necessarily great for Empire. I feel like it's worse for them because they pop BKBs. OG, yeah, they've got Brewmaster split down, but I don't really feel like they need Brewmaster split to win a team fight, whereas they definitely need BKBs on the other side. So many other threats.
And with BKBs down now, can you really contest Roshan? I mean, OG, they've pushed out the waves as well, so
I'm not so sure.
They're just going to head into the pit. They're going to take this Aegis and Cheese, but bottom lane, it looks like they have found Resolution. Well, rather, Resolution has found Silent, which is insane.
Jeez.
And that's just his Tempest double. They include the bear in that gank as well.
Well, they'll get the bear at least, but that's not going to be a good trade here.
No buyback, dead for 65, plus Aegis and Cheese going for OG.
Yeah, and consistently what's been happening is Empire will find a sort of opportunity, and they don't quite all go in at the same moment. It's just a little bit of lack of execution. Like they blink called the Brewmaster, but they didn't really have any follow-up stuns. Earthshaker wasn't there, and then we're going to see Mapoche get caught. The TA goes in with a BKB, but at that point there was no stun follow-up, so all of a sudden everybody kind of goes in on Empire, and they're like, oh, it's too late actually.
Yeah.
Is he going to die here?
I think he might be just dead. Flux, the stomp on top of it too. They will get the Tempest up of the Earth Splitter, might finish it, and it will. Wow, that blew him away. Ghostic now on the run as well. BKB is popped for him. He's just going to have to back up. The Glimpse comes in. That will be onto the Rubik. Maposhka just bought back, and that is that's going to be it for his life. 3 dead. GG is called, and OG will take game number 1 of this best-of-3 series.
Man, they played so fast from the beginning to the end. It honestly didn't even, the way they played this game, it didn't even feel like it mattered what heroes OG had. They just did everything better than Empire. They were just constantly making ganks happen. Yes, they got really lane pressured at the start. Like the first 7 minutes, Empire played expertly, but from there on, OG just kept making kills happen, and they kept forcing Empire to do things they weren't necessarily ready for. They took all these bullied lanes, and they just killed them enough times that it didn't matter they had a lane advantage. And Empire didn't quite continue the tempo at the same pace.
Yep.
And like even towards the end of the game, OG just seems like they really have a good grasp on how to correctly play Dota, at least against Empire where they're not pressured enough.
So OG looking good. You would assume they're going to maybe take this 2-0 based off of that last game?
Based on that game, it does look like it's very likely, maybe not very likely, but OG had a really firm grasp on playing the game correctly that game. They made so few mistakes, and they didn't even give their opponents opportunities.
Well, speaking of OG, we do have a content piece in Slacks. He's got a video. We'll send it right over to that.